Hope my baby will not annoy us. Hi. Cannot be muted.
How beautiful soul, the soul, light, and body. It's a beautiful day. We are all here again today, and we just need to give gratitude and just whatever we may be going through at this point in time, just know that we can make that change for ourselves. We have it within us to make that change. And it's a brand new week, it's a brand new month. And I have a question for you. What action steps are you taking towards your goals this month? What action steps are you taking towards your goal this month? And if there is a blank canvas, what picture will you paint about your life or situation? If there is a blank canvas, what picture will you paint about yourself or situation? Those are the two questions moving forward this month. You need to really go deep and ask yourself. Have your journal and write the way how you feel, because you could always go back to those words you wrote about yourself in the journal and make sense about it. Because sometimes when we write things at the moment, we really don't resonate with what we are writing because the way how we may be feeling at our point in time. But once you could go back and read, it make a lot of sense and you get a lot of clarity what you wrote in your journal. So I'm Karen Pascal, an holistic health and wellness coach. And I will now hand you over to Miss Joan Williams. And Maggie, thank you so much for taking the time to joining us today. And you've got such a fabulous topic, the code that changed Maggie's life. We just want to welcome you to the show this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Joan?
Hi, thank you. Good morning to all. Happy Monday to everyone and new month we're in. And I would just like to ask the question is also, how are you keeping your cup filled? What are you doing to maintain that so that you don't feel burnout, you don't feel stressed, you don't feel fatigue? Because as we pour, okay, so
We're
find
not
it.
here. Okay.
The connection is not
Hear,
disrupted now. I can't
hear
hear.
me?
No, we didn't hear
Yeah,
what you said just
done.
now.
Oh, the question was, how are you keeping your cup filled? Can you
Okay,
hear that?
Yes.
I
Right.
got you now.
Good. What steps are you taking to make sure that your cup remains filled to avoid fatigue, burnout, stress? Because the more we give, the more we feel tired, we feel stressful. So let's try to keep our cup filled at all times. So, what are the steps you're taking to maintain that? My name is Joan Williams, holistic health and wellness coach. And today we have a lovely guest, Maggie. She's no stranger to the community. Maggie, welcome. I'm just going to give a little bit about
Thank
you
you,
here.
John.
Margaret Kattan, which is her nickname is Maggie. And Maggie's free spirited person. She's 35 years old and has earned her bachelor's degree in banking and finance. She visited the US more than 5 times. Margaret considered food for her soul and meditation for her cure. She believes that there is a power in her to achieve everything, and she's going to teach us that today. Anything she wants in life. She adores nature and also the ocean. She's a wife and has a 6 months old baby. She loved music and writing. That has recently became her passion. And her writing skills since her awakening has increased. Maggie, welcome.
Thank you, Joanne. How are you guys? Hope you all are fine.
Yeah, we are wonderful. Thanks for asking.
Thank
Now,
you.
Maggie, tell us who really is Maggie, and you can take us back a little bit before your awakening and how you become to this place in life.
Yeah,
Can you help here to understand?
yes, sure. Actually, first I came for you guys to evolve, to have more awareness, because I believe awareness is an essential thing in our life. If you don't have awareness, you will be the same as you are. And because I've gone through a lot in my life, I can judge how I was and now how what I am in the meantime. First thing, let me tell you about my past, since I'm not ashamed at all about my past. And if you are not ashamed of your past, that's where you will learn and develop your skills. It's about a lesson, or let's say lessons more than one lesson. You will find this later when you begin to feel the pleasure of your life. So actually, I raised up by unbonded family. My father and my mother wasn't that much in contact with each other. I can say that my father was not that emotional and sympathy, maybe because he raised up different than what we are today. But I actually forgive him for what he did because, as I said, forgiveness is also an important tool for us to raise up. So I was really lonely since the childhood. I didn't feel that love, joy, happiness. So you can imagine how my life was. I had a brother, he was my twin, but unfortunately he passed away. He suffered from cancer for 4 years. He died at 16 years old. He was so young. So, and I was too, because as I said, he was my twin. And because of that, since I wasn't that much aware, I was so a kid. You can consider me as a kid. So I've gone through a lot. I saw him suffer, lot of suffering during chemotherapy. I was always with him at the hospital, but my parent did the impossible for him to be alive, but unfortunately it's God wills. So unfortunately he passed away. Then later my life turned to be more miserable because my dad already doesn't live with us, and he stayed more away from us since the death of my brother, because he was so attached to him. I always felt that difference between us. So when he left us, I stayed with my mom. My mom had that problems because of her loss, and already has that problem in our family. So I also didn't get that love and joy from my mom. Unfortunately, she had also cancer and she passed away. From that moment my life turned upside down. I didn't understand what happened. I used to be very religious person. I used to pray, fast. I can't call myself as a religious person, but I always believe in Jesus Christ. He always used to visit me while I was a teenager. Many times he visited me in my dreams. Later, I realized that it was astral travel, because that before the awakening, I couldn't understand this. So since I was the teenager, I kept seeing weird dreams. I couldn't understand these dreams. I told my childhood friend about it. So she noticed there is something different than others. And I always had the faith in my heart. Everyone noticed this except me. But later I realized that lots of people, when I told them I have faith, they told me, yes, we knew that since the beginning. Imagine. Later, when my mom passed away, I had to move and I lived my aunt. They were fine. They raised me up. They helped me to look after me. Uh, but we were different. We have different thoughts and minds. We are different. I stayed in this life lonely, depressed, until I decided to leave their home because lots of things and arguments happened. So I decided to be a free spirit, to live by myself. However, here in Jordan, it's really not acceptable at all to live by yourself. But I believe in power and my strength. So I didn't care about anyone here. I want to do what I want, my heart and soul desire. So I left home and I began my different life. Later, actually, I traveled a lot. I've been to the state five times or six. Uh, I was about to stay in the US, but something told me no, don't stay. So later, after, let me tell you, in 2013, I stayed for a year in the US. Okay. Then I moved to Jordan, or returned back to Jordan again. So I started working at the Meridian Hotel, where I met my husband. It was 2014 where when I met him. Everything was the same for me. I always have that idea that everyone will hurt me. I will not get love in return. Something I forgot to tell you about, because that the lack of love and sympathy I used to have in my life, I always begging for people to love me and always looking for, especially a guy, to give me that love because my dad didn't give me fill, as you said, fill in that cup of emotions. So I always had that feeling of there's something missing. Like I'm not enough. I'm not worth. Even at my school, I was so good. I had great grades, but they always bullied me. I don't know why. Maybe this is because I read up about my childhood. It was different, so I had that thought. Maybe they were not do that, but let's say bullying. It exists because I felt it. You can't imagine anything that's not real. But later, what happened to me is after I met my husband, also I begged love from him. Imagine, I always, I became crazy about him like never before. I couldn't stay a moment without him. I feel like I have shortage in breath. So if we have argue or something, I ran directly to him, trying to consult to fix what happened instead of let him do that because I always need him in my life. Then what happened in my awakening actually started uh, 2020. That moment, everything has changed in my life. Even his existence in my life has changed me. Imagine, guys. I want you to focus here. So I always have passion in energy and tarot. Okay, tarot reading. But I didn't take a step to do anything related to spirituality. I didn't know there is something called spirituality. I was into energy, but not that much. Then later, in 2020, a voice, no, let me tell you before that voice. My husband was under spiritual attack. Someone has put a spell on him. He changed from 2014 to 2019. He became someone I didn't know. He became like a monster because that black energy that was spelled on him. But in 2019, something told me there is something wrong with your husband. I thought he was in love with another girl or something. Then later, I decided that I want to open my third eye chakra to know the truth, to know what's going on. But before that, a voice kept telling, after I thought of third eye chakra, a voice came to me. I didn't understand this voice until recently. What is it? That voice told me, open your eye chakra. I started meditating. And that moment, my relation with my husband, or my man before he being my husband, was not that good. I was I decided that I will leave him for good if he will not change. Even though I can't live a moment without him. Imagine, guys, what I'm telling you. So something happened, so I left him. Not I left him, just I left him without telling any words to him. I just returned my back to him. Then later, I decided I need to meditate to work on my third eye chakra. I felt that thing is not. I'm not. I'm still not strong enough to open the third eye chakra, because we all know it's not easy. If you force it, you will get something bad in return. So don't do it. It will happen upon divine timing. Please keep that in mind. If you don't have balance, you will have problems later. Then I decided to meditate. Later, I found something called Reiki music. Every night, I kept hearing this music. Every night, I started to feel that change in me. I became strong. I could live my life without my husband, without feeling that short breath in my heart, that headache, that I can't move on in my life. So after that, this happened in July 2020. After the meditation, I stayed doing meditation daily for 2 months. Then later, what happened is I started to see the code that has changed my life. We all know that code, guys. It's not something new for us. It is 1111. But it depends on your awareness if you will be able to see it and look for this number. What does it mean? Do you have faith that this number or the frequency of this will it change your life or not? From that moment, I felt 1111 will change my life. Literally, as I'm telling you now. Plus, I always like to hear tarot reading. It was talking about my marriage. Imagine. I couldn't believe that. How come? Because I already have that problem. I didn't tell you about my husband. Actually, we are different. He is different than me. He is Muslim and I'm a Christian. So my relatives was totally against our marriage. And because we got married, they disowned me. At first, I was so hesitant to move to this relation, to take it another step. But after I saw 1111, I knew there is something gonna happen that will change my life. So when I saw 1111, that code, I looked for it. So what was telling me is make a wish. Everything you want, it will be real. You are on the right path. When I read about something about angels, my faith has increased more than double. You can see, you can say triple. So I walk by faith. I speak the word of faith. I see the eye of by the eye of faith. Nothing could stop me. Even my husband. I didn't want to be with him. I said, that's me. I love myself. Lots of people used to tell me, love yourself. You can't love yourself if you don't learn to love yourself. I can tell you many times, love yourself, people, but nothing will change because if you don't learn this lesson from your heart and soul, you will be the same. I didn't realize what is the meaning of loving yourself unless until I experienced this. How to be strong, how to be powerful, how to love yourself, how to do anything you want. No one will be against you. Just you. You walk as per your will. Sorry, my baby. So, after that, I didn't talk to my husband. I left him the way he is. But because I know he was under attack, I tried to help him without him knowing. I found someone to heal him. But unfortunately, he stayed to have something. During that time, I started to looking for 1111. I did million of exploring about lots of pages that talks about energy, spirituality, 1111, the awakening code. I called it the awakening code, the code that has changed my life. Okay, I found nothing actually come by a chance. I found it purposely. I found someone who told me, I can help you heal your husband. I believe you are strong enough to heal him. He told me, work on your imagination. Believe, guys, you don't know how much imagination is so powerful and miraculous. If you know how to imagine anything you want in life, you can manifest anything you want in your life by imagination. Imagination is the key for your happiness, for your joy. So he told me that it's okay, he is healed, but there is a link that is around his wrist. Imagine this story that you already unlinked him. I did this. It was really something tiring. I cried a lot. I felt short breath because I got all the bad energy from him. But thankfully, he returned the one I used to know him before. He was going, I don't know, I'm not actually dying, but he had lots of disease. He couldn't eat. He couldn't live that life. Imagine how was hard. And how was hard for me too, because I had to bear everything from him. Not enough what I had in my past, but also him. So I healed him. I didn't tell you this also. In addition to my brother death and my mom death, my husband also had near death experience, unfortunately. But because God loved me, he returned him back to life after 5 minutes. During that moment, I didn't know what I'm gonna do. I was by him alone. I still wasn't awakened yet, but I was near the awakening. This happened like 2 months before the awakening. Then later, after I healed him and unlinked that link around him, he changed. It, but before, let me tell you something I remember. Sorry, I keep remembering things, but it's important. When I stopped talking to him and before getting along together again, I used to see lots of vivid dreams. I see I saw my marriage. I saw him a lot. I saw myself in different places. I realized later that's about astral travel. So because of that, every time I used to see 1111. I say, thank you, thank you, thank you, angels. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God, Jesus Christ, for making my dreams to become true. After that, I started seeing 4 4. 4 4, it was about being protected and being guided. With, um, with 4 4, one day I was going to the bakery. I usually don't look on the floor, but something told me, look, look. I found a black feather. Black feather, imagine. How come in the bakery store, where is it hard for any bird to reach there, you find a feather? I didn't understand what is that feather, but I kept thinking about it. When I returned home, I looked for feather, so I knew its meaning. From that moment, I started to collecting feathers because I believe that feathers are sent from the angels. They are here around us, even they you don't feel their presence, but they are here to help you move on, to help you be happy and feel that joy that we lots of us has missed. So because I believe in that, the 1111 has increased, the presence of 1111 has increased in my life like crazy. To the moment I became crazy, that's what's happening, what's going on. I kept seeing 1111 everywhere, in color plates, in car license, YouTube. I used to open anything, any channel on YouTube. I see 11 minutes or lots more than for 11. How, imagine how powerful this number is. So please, please, guys, don't ignore the presence of this number. It will change your life. It's not this number only. It's about different number, but this is depends on your frequencies and vibrations. And before that, after I saw 1111, after I started seeing the feathers around me, and when I was living alone by myself, and when I wasn't in contact with my husband, there was a dove coming every day in my window. Every day I felt that dove, there is something, it's sent from God, from the sky. I started to connect that puzzle to understand what's happening. Then later, I felt that my husband is gonna call me and everything will be great. On July, he returned back to me. That's 2020. We talked together. After this happened, the dove has appeared. I didn't see it anymore. Imagine, even the dove had a message for me. But it depends on you, on your awareness, whether you believe, whether you notice or not. Please open your spiritual eyes, open your mind, look around you. There is lots of signs. Maybe your signs are different than mine, but everything has been created for your higher self, for you to change. You are the one who can create your destiny. You are the one who can turn the impossible to be possible. So after that, for maybe 4 months, my husband and I decided to get married. Imagine how it was hard for me to get married because of the differences between us, as he is different from socialism. He is different. Uh, Also, the age is different than me. His life is different. Everything, lots of differences. And as I said, my family, relatives, actually, my relatives went against me. They didn't want me to be with them anymore. I already don't live with them, but I used to contact them. So I left them. I decided that this marriage is distant. God wants this marriage to be. I walk by faith. I didn't think twice. I wasn't that hesitant that I used to be before. I didn't care about anyone. I used to have my uncle. I love him a lot. I always was worried about how he will feel when I get married. But after I saw this number, I didn't care about anything because I know this happened for me to change only, not for others. Others will not help me, will not benefit me, will not let me move forward. So I took that step and decided to get married. I got married on March 8th. So if you are going to sum it up, it will be 11. Imagine how powerful is number 11. So we got married. His family are with us. They accepted our marriage. And also, his mom, because we were in good contact with each other since 2015, she used to see me marrying him, despite the fact they are really religious and strict minded. But she felt deep in her heart that I will be the one for her son. And that's what happened. It wasn't only me. Lots of people used to see dreams about this marriage. How miraculous, how magical. Feathers, and I want to tell you about a story about the feather for you to believe it's something not came by chance. It's something sent by God, by the angels. One time, after we decided to get married, we were planning to prepare our home. He used to living at his home alone, so I offered him a help. I decided that I will go help him. When I entered that home, I saw a feather on the floor. How come this feather come here? I couldn't understand that. I didn't take it. I ignored it. So when and my husband got someone to help him move everything. So can you imagine when lots of things been moved, anything will be stay on the place? No. Later, I decided that I wanted to go back to check that home. I want to see that to find this feather. I want it. When I went to home, his home was empty, totally empty because it's already they already moved everything. So it was empty. I kept thinking, where is the feather? Something told me, look at the corner. The feather was waiting for me. Imagine, guys, how lovely. You can believe it's something not normal feather. So I kept it for me. And everything became amazing. Later, after a month, I became pregnant. So I also dream about being pregnant before knowing I am pregnant. Someone came and gave me a blanket. I said, how come? What is blanket? I felt that it means something related to pregnancy. So I wasn't wrong. I became pregnant with my beautiful, his name, my baby Jude. Um, Here is more something interesting. That's the first awakening for me. The first awakening that not much happened. But later, that tough awakening started to be in my blood. I always have that passion and that love to spirituality because meditation, only meditation, and Reiki has changed my life. How I can't love it, how I can't adore it. I also forgot to tell you about my page. Even my page, it came by a calling. I heard that voice. Open the page for you to teach other what happened to you, how you turned from being pessimistic and hopeless to be positive, to believe in faith, to believe in hope. I ignored that call. I didn't listen to it. A month later, that call came again. Open that page. So I decided, they want you to open that page. So I opened it. I called it the Awakening Code 1111. At first, it was like Awakening Code 1111. The code that changed my life. How can I not name it 1111? So, before I continue, I want Joan and Karen talk because they are so impressed, impressed and surprised.
Oh my goodness.
It's truly amazing, that story.
You
And
know,
something, sorry, you go, Karen.
no, it's okay. You go, Joan.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
so
fine.
you mentioned, you mentioned a few times, walk by faith.
Yes.
And that is part of Karen and I. We use that motto for ourselves, walk by faith and not by sight, because that is where you get a lot of strength from, even though you don't know what is it. And you know there is a lot of good there for you because of God and his doing. Walk by faith and not by sight. So we can resonate, and I'm sure the audience as well can resonate with that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that is so true. And
Undoubted faith.
yes, and when you mentioned the code 1111,
Mm-hmm.
I had to smile because when I was going through my awakening journey, that was the code that was being given to me. 1111. Everywhere I turn, I see that code 1111. And then I started now to listen when I see the code 1111.
Yeah.
And then is when I started to get my messages too through the 1111.
Mhm.
So many times, what we need to do is to just pay attention to the things
Exactly.
that is happening around us, because there are messages that is being given to us, but we don't pay attention. We are so busy, we have busy lives, we don't even stop in silence to even look at nothing around us. And we really need to develop that attitude whereby we could stop and look at something, because a message could be there for us. You see a number, it's a message.
Yeah.
Because remember, that's the only way they could communicate with us.
Mm-hmm.
It's through numbers, or sometimes somebody may come into your life and they may say something to you. But many times, because we are not awakened, when we get messages we don't understand. And many times we get upset if someone may say something to us at that point in time, because what we may be going through at that point in time. But what we need to do is to start to listen to what is being said to us, because it's messages, and someone may say something to you at this point in time. It may not be for now, it may be for a month or even a year or 6 months down the line. But the spirit wants you to know the message that point in time, what is gonna happen, what you're gonna see. So I really understand what Maggie is saying,
Mm-hmm.
that we need to pay attention to our dreams. We need to pay attention to things that is happening around our lives. It's
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah, it is.
Also, another thing that you mentioned too is our frequency and vibration. because we need to align ourselves to the frequency and vibration of the outcome we would like to see for ourselves. Many times things come into our lives to kind of like move you away from that frequency. If you need to stop, you acknowledge it, but move on. Because if you stay there, things will never happen for you. You stop, acknowledge it for what it is, but you have to move on. It's time that we really pay attention to our intuition and understand what is happening around our lives. It is so important,
It is.
you know. And Maggie, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How, when this awakening happened for you, how did you feel at that point in time or at that moment? What really sparked within you? What are some of the things that you heard when you get that awakening?
As I told you before, the awakening started by about the chakras. So I was so much into knowing about the chakras more and how to balance them. And meditation also helped me to get lots of ideas. And one of them was about opening my page. That awakening helped me to started to think about others, how to help them, how to let them go out of that loop that they have been living in for some long time without realizing how to go out of it. About being positive, about believe. You have to believe. If you don't have anything, or if you don't believe in anything, you will not get anything in return. Belief and faith, undoubted faith. If you have doubt, nothing will change. If you get more excited, nothing will change. It's about frequencies and vibrations. You should not move your body and gesture to show that you are excited. The universe will feel that without doing anything. It's about you to meditate, to calm, to believe that everything will change for the better, and that's it. Even if you have sometimes burn out, meditation. I gone through a lot of very hard time, but every time, especially Reiki music, I didn't know it's healing in music until, yeah, this happened actually also before my marriage. Something about manifestation. Let me tell you about it. One day I was looking on Facebook. Someone posted, upload a post here in Jordan about workshop or something. It's an intro about energy. So I said, something interesting. It's the first time I see this here. So I decided that I will go there and attend the workshop. So I went there. I found that master. He was a master Reiki master, but he didn't talk anything about Reiki. But he told us there is three levels and there is a course I teach if you are interested. He talked about aura and general. So at that time, I wasn't that much. I wasn't working, so I didn't have that much money. I wanted to attend this course. How come? I can't lose it. It's something important for me. I kept thinking that I want to contact this guy for him to give me installments to attend this workshop. I kept thinking for a week. Then at the end of that week, I said, I missed it. Then I forgot about it. A week later, I found someone, a strange number calling me. Who's that calling me? Turned out that man who is calling me, I want you to attend my class for free. How come this happened? So I knew it was the first gift from the universe. I said, thank you, universe. I'm so blessed. I'm so glad that you gave me this opportunity. Even though I was already downloaded the Reiki through Udemy. I don't know if you know it, guys, but it's a very good website. It helps you to know to have lots of courses and sometimes reasonable prices. Sometimes $20, $15 when they give a discount, a very huge discount. So I recommend it for you. So I got Reiki for free. How come? Something amazing.
Your frequency?
Yeah.
To the impossible frequency and vibrations. Even and during that time, lots of people who used to see me talking, they feel there is something change in me. I'm not the one who used to be. I'm not the one who used to be sad, always tears in my eyes. I'm strong. I don't show tears, but my sadness eyes always. The people can feel that sadness in my eyes. But later, even the people, what happened? What did you do? How come? You changed a lot. Even when I wasn't talking with my husband, my friend, how come can you stay without him for a month? You weren't like this before. You weren't like the one who you just like to sit at home alone, crying, doing nothing, just waiting for him to come back. But later, I decided that whether he returned back or not, I will live my life. I will go outside. I will enjoy. I will enjoy my meditation every night, meditation and Reiki. That's it. Then, guess what happened? I got married. That before my pregnancy. So my pregnancy and the spiritual awakening, the second spiritual awakening, that was really tough. So I don't know if there's still time. It's almost an hour. So I don't know.
Yes, so listening to you, it really tells us that it's a process, and the journey sometimes could be really rough.
Yeah.
It could be really, really rough. But once we could continue to stay on that journey, things would change. And you started to implement certain things into your life, which help you and enhance the
Yeah.
change that happened in your life. And we need to many times just sit and do reflection, because when we do reflection, we get a lot of clarity about things that is happening in our lives. But as I said before, we are so busy, we don't take the time to even sit with ourselves to check in to see what's happening. And that is what we need to do. We need to really carve out some time during the day and sit with yourself. That is your self-care time. If you're at work, when you're on your lunch break, take that time for yourself. Sit with yourself. Ask yourself
Definitely.
questions. Write it down. How you feeling? Because these are the things that help us on our journey.
Of course.
It helps us a lot, and we don't take the time to do it. Change is not a quick fix. You have to, whatever you do today, you have to continue to do it tomorrow. And don't beat up yourself if one day that you fall off the wagon. Just get up back, dust yourself off, and continue to move on. Because once you continue, the universe is seeing what you're doing and will reward you what you're looking for. It
It
is
will.
so important.
Mhm.
My opening question was, what action steps are you taking towards your goals this month? What action steps are you taking towards your goals this month? And if there is a blank canvas, what picture would you paint about yourself or the situation? If there is a blank canvas, what would you paint? about yourself or the situation. This is your questions for the month of August. And start to do things that would lead you towards the healing process. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. We all went through something. That is why we are sitting here today, to bring our story to you, to know that there is hope, and for you to know that you can come out from that loop and move on. Look for the signs. The signs are there. Look for the signs. Go within. It's all within you.
Yeah.
Maggie, any words for us before we close the show?
Actually, I will continue later about my tough awakening. That's the second one.
Yes. Go right ahead.
So, guys, as I said, I created my page for you to help you move on, to for you to think positively. I write intuitively. I don't follow anything. Is- I used to find a post, then I write whatever it comes to mind. Then later, I ask my spirit guides for a message. So anything you want, I'm here. I'm happy to help you. I want you to always walk by faith.
Yes.
Speak the word of faith
Mm.
and see in the eyes of faith. When
Yes.
you do that, nothing will be hard for you to achieve.
Correct.
Manifestation is real, law of attraction is real. Don't believe when someone tell you it's just bullshit or whatever it is. It's something real. It needs you to open up more to achieve what you need and want. That's it for me. And I said all again, I'm happy to help anyone. I'm here because I've noticed lots of people in their beginning spiritual awakening have lots of inquiries. So any inquiry, I will be happy to help you for free because that's our goal to be spiritual. We should be different than others. It's
Mhm.
not about materialism. Keep that in mind, guys. And we'll talk again. Sure, I will tell you about that tough awakening. It was not smooth like the one used before. And in case I remember something later, I will tell you in the second show.
Yes.
Remember, faith turns the impossible to be possible.
Yeah.
Yes. And,
True.
we all are going through awakening,
Yeah.
and we all wake up at different times. We all don't wake up the same time. So we need to pay attention to awakening, because we may have a friend in our life, and you may wake up before the friend, and the friend may not understand what's happening with you, because remember, when you awaken, you start to see things on a different level, and you understand things on a different level. And that friend may not understand, what, you're awakened. So we need not to pay attention to the lower vibrations of people who are trying to bring us down, or who are trying to attack us. Because when you divert from what you're supposed to be paying attention to, you are only lowering your energies to that person's vibrations. So we need to pay attention what we are doing and how we are spending our energies each day. It's very important, because many times a person may say something about us, and you look at it, you acknowledge it, or if better yet, don't even look at it. Because when you look at that, it just drop your energy totally that day. It drops your
Yeah.
energy.
Mhm.
And when you drop your frequency, you are not on that frequency level to go forward where you want to go. Because remember, we all have goals, we all have missions in life. what we really want for ourselves. And if you want to aspire for something great for your life and you keep lowering your energies to negative situations, what people are saying about you, how they feel about you, you are just coming off from the frequency that you're supposed to be on for your goals and aspirations. So that is what we need to pay attention to. We need not to lower our energies to things that don't really serve us for our higher good. Whatever anybody wants to say about you, it's all good. You don't go into that frequency to pay attention what they are saying about you. What someone feels and says about you, that's not you. Once you know who you are, it doesn't matter what anybody else think about you. It cannot penetrate because you know who you are and you are living in a higher frequency
Mm.
and they are below.
خلصت.
So keep on your frequency. These are my words before I leave this show today. Keep on your frequency. You know your goals, you know your aspirations. Just continue to work towards what you want with your life. It's so important.
Yeah.
Joan?
Yes, I so support that, and I'm sure Maggie support that as well. Also, the audience can resonate with that. So, also, I want to talk about just make sure that every day, whatever you're doing, set your intentions. Just set your intention. Put that great intention to whatever is it that you're doing, because putting your intention, that's helped you to get a lot of success.
Mhm.
So just let's all just try to practice that daily, and we'll see the difference in our lives as well. So as I started to, and I told you earlier, make sure you keep your cup filled. It is so
Yes.
important because so much happens every day in our lives, and we become burnout, we become fatigued. You know, we want to live every day our best, our true
Sure.
is the best version of you. So always maintain, keep your cup full. Make sure you do your grounding, you do your meditation, you do
Mhm.
your affirmations, and all of that good stuff. That all those tools can help us. So when we step out every day and we reach into the world, we can be our best and share our best with others and our family and every single thing and everything that we do. Just give your best.
Absolutely agree with you, John. Everything we do, just give our best.
Give your
And
best.
before I leave, I just want to say that many times you see someone behaving the way they are behaving, you need to ask yourself the question, what is this person going through?
Hmm.
That's the question you need to ask yourself. What is this person going through? Because many times people behave because they're not healed. They got childhood trauma, and it's so many things going on with them at that point in time. So they are looking for an outlet where they could let whatever energy is within there, those negative emotions that they are feeling, they want an outlet to pour it out. And if they see you as a weaker link, they grab you and they pour it all over you. So you have got to keep yourself protected with your energy and don't lower your energy there. It is so important. I cannot stress enough on that because a lot of people in the community needs to hear this message. We are healers. We are masters of our own lives. And we need to understand that no one could bring you down if you don't give them the power to bring you down. The power is in your hands. You came here with your gifts, and no one could take those gifts from you. You are unique. You are enough. You work on your gifts, and it doesn't matter what anybody else says about you. It has nothing to do with you. Pay attention to yourself. So important.
And you're special.
Exactly.
You're special. You're one of a kind. There is no one else that has your fingerprint. You're by.
Exactly.
There's a reason why you're here, and you're here to
Exactly.
work on your
Exactly.
and share your gift with the world. And it's such a
Exactly.
good. It become magical when you can find that purpose, you have that passion, they
Yeah,
both ignite together. It's just magic. You can feel it.
absolutely.
When people around you, they can feel that fire and that magic from you. So we love you all.
Maggie, thank you so much for taking the time today and to gracing us with your presence
My
and
pleasure.
helping the community to understand who is Maggie Kattan.
Mm-hmm.
How did Maggie Kattan arrive at the place where she's at this point in time? And the story is so beautiful, and I know it will resonate with a lot of people because the message is profound. And you are such a great soul, and you will continue to help other souls out there to receive the messages that you have within you. Thank you once again. Thank you to all the viewers for joining the show today to help to make it a success. Continue to go within, bring those treasures out so you could help someone else who is waiting out there on your light. Be of service to humanity. Thank you so much once again. And you
Thank you.
guys have a wonderful week. Thank you, thank you, thank you.